Hi everyone, it's Ruby, also known as Light of Ruby. I wanted to follow up and make a video more in detail in regards to the spiritual warfare experiences that I had, and just talking about them more in detail. So I know I was kind of brief on my other videos, so this is like a part 2 to that. So I wanted to talk about the first experience, which was about the people from my past that tried to come into my life, and kind of just talk about that more in detail. So back towards the end of 2022, I was already in a vulnerable state and kind of going through it emotionally. And I know like the person that reached out to me was kind of like keeping an eye on me type of thing. Well, they started like commenting on little things that I would post. But I didn't notice that like what they were trying to do is like, I guess, contact me and in that way, like to go to this experience with them in April of 2023, or I think it was the beginning of May that I went, but they had reached out like in April talking about it. So, you know, they were kind of just like talking to me here and there through social media when I would post, and like commenting on my stuff through my DMs. And then in April of 2023, they were like, oh, we have this experience that I would love for you to try with us if you're open to it. Like, I've been hesitant to reach out to you about it. And little did I know why they were hesitant, but I was kind of just like oblivious to it. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll try it. And so it was this experience of that I usually do in Mexico, where you go into a sweat lodge, you take out all your toxins, and then after they like purify your body. That wasn't done here. It was done a little differently. They really only have the sweat lodge part together, but everything else that I do in Mexico was like not part of this experience here. And anyway, long story short, when they reached out in April, I was just like, yeah, like I'll try it. But I think I had missed the first one, and then, you know, 2 weeks later, the person followed up with me and was like, hey, there's one coming up if you want to go, and started sending me all these pictures and like, look, this is what we do, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, like I already said I'd go, so like the convincing part was definitely there. And then after, I think I was like not about to go, but they were like, oh, it's tomorrow, like this is the address if you're gonna go. I was like, okay. So I was like, I had said yes, so I'm just gonna go, right? On my way there, my intuition was kind of like skeptical, but I was also in a very vulnerable state emotionally. So like my intuition was not like at its best when I got invited here. And I think this person knew that, and that's why they started to reach out to me when they noticed that I was like in a vulnerable state. And then when I got there, you know, I started talking to this person, and then like some of the family members were there, and I was just like, something's off. Because like these people were not, like they weren't the people that like I once knew, right? I think we all grow and change, but like to our core, we're usually the same, and these people just weren't. So something did feel a little off when I first got there, but again, my intuition was not 100% at this point in time, so I was just like, whatever. I like, you know, brushed it off. And then after that, I was like, let's just go through this experience and see what it's about. So we went into the sweat lodge, did all that, and then after, usually like in Mexico, they'll purify you with like smoke and plants like only on the outside of the body. And then you also take like a purified blessed water that's blessed by like the shaman. And then afterwards you are allowed to go into like a water, like I can't think right now, like a little lake, but over there it's called different and I can't even think of the name right now. Anyway, this was completely different. It was just in their backyard. We got out of the sweat lodge, and then afterwards they had little mats, so I got on the mats, and then they were like, here's some water, and then they were like, do you want to try the plant medicine? And honestly guys, I'm not someone who is into this stuff. I haven't ever been, and somehow this person was able to convince me to just try it. And if you know me, you know I'm not like persuaded or convinced easily. Like, that's just not someone who I am. Like, it's just not. Anyways, yes, she was able to do that. And then so I took the plant medicine, and when I took this plant medicine, my consciousness was like it clicked why I was there and what they were trying to do. And I was so angry, you guys. I don't think I've felt this type of anger ever in my life, like ever. And I was so angry because I was like told from like a higher power consciousness, you know, that the reason that I was there is because they were trying to lure me into like being with this past person in my life. And I was so upset. And that person wasn't there though. I wouldn't have gone if they were. Anyway, the point is, the reason that like why I was there came up. So I was angry. I was really angry, but I wasn't in like, I knew I wasn't like me. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I wasn't in my body, so I couldn't really do anything. So I was like, I'm just gonna breathe through it, and I'm gonna call on God, call on my angels. And I even spiritually called on this connection, this strong connection that I have with someone, whether they help me through it or not on a spiritual level, or even like felt that, I don't know. But like, I knew the reason that they were trying to is because they were trying to stop me from even having a connection like that. Anyways, I was just like calling in on God, my angels, and that connection, and I was able to quickly snap out of it when I did that, and probably took, I don't know, it was a couple minutes. And then, you know, when I came back like into my body, I was just like, I didn't even know what to think, because when I was in that state, guys, I thought I was never gonna be normal again. I don't even know how to explain it, but I was just like, WTF, you know, when I came back. And then they were like, oh, like, how do you feel? Da, 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 da. And I was just like, you know, I just thought I wasn't gonna come back. Like, I was honest about that. And then the host tried to do like energy work on me, but I was like, no, absolutely not. And then after that, they kind of just tried asking me questions about how the experience was, but I did not feel comfortable talking to them at all. I was just like, I need to get out. And on my way out, I was given a business card of the host. I didn't bother looking at it until a couple days later, but when I did, I decided to look up some of the stuff that was on it, and guys, it was nothing but like evil things. And I was like, OMG, like, I can't believe I just went through that with someone like that. That experience was wild. Okay, so I was definitely a little scared afterwards, because I was like, WTF, you know? Like, why did that happen to me, and why are they after me, and why is this going on, you know? Like, why would they? But I mean, I'm starting to understand it more now, because I've had more than just that experience. But yeah, that was the first experience that I had. And then the second experience was the client. So the client that wanted energy work done. So this client, you know, I didn't know, had bad intentions. I was just like, okay, yeah, like, I can do energy work for you. And then they were like, when I got to their home, they were very friendly in a way that like was more than like a client. At least that's what I was getting from them, right? But I'm a nice person, so I kind of was just like, okay, whatever. And then after I did the session on this person and they were like, they got out, that's when they were trying to like lure me in into ways that were not okay. And I was just like, what are you doing? Like, it was so intense. And I was like, I wasn't scared, but I was confused. Like, I left confused when after that, like, she walked me out of her like place and then like walked me to the elevator. And when we were at the elevators, that's when she had asked me like, how do your guides show up? And that's when I was like very confused. So the thing is, with spiritual warfare, it leaves you feeling confused. But like when you take the time to just reconnect to your divine forces, which for me is God and my angels, like it's gonna come to you, you know? You may not understand it when you experience it in that moment, but then after you're like, oh, okay, I get what they were trying to do, you know? And then you're able to be more aware of things like that. And then, so after that, there was another experience where there was this man, right? And I had mentioned it before, he was an older man. But the way this happened, we were simply just having a conversation. Actually, this happened with the client that I had done energy work for too. I was, you know, face to face with her, but she tried to do it so intensely in my face that I was just like, no. This guy that was, you know, attempting to do that to me did it in a more subtle way and thought I wasn't able to catch on. So like as soon as I felt it, I got up and I was like, no. And they were just like, oh, I hope like I didn't bore you. And I was like, in my head, I was just like, you know what you were trying to do. So I was like, I'm leaving. And so I left. And, you know, again, like I was feeling so confused in that moment. But this is what these experiences do to you. They'll leave you feeling confused because what they're trying to do is scare you and call you away from your higher purpose and higher calling. And this is not something that I knew before. You know, I think it took these experiences to get to this place of like understanding that there is more out there than just the light forces that I work with and the angels that I work with. So I just want everyone to be very careful when it comes to getting services from people, healing work, any type of healing work, anyone helping you in the spiritual community. Just be very aware, be very careful. Not everyone is of light or wants everyone to experience light and actual healing in their life. So I just want you to be very aware of that, be very careful, and, you know, again, keep your prayers up. That's what I do every day. Sometimes I think when you go through these experiences, they do have to become a little bit stronger, and just making sure that you are doing that every day if that's something you're looking for, right, longer term. And then the fact that, you know, I've learned that they hide behind religion too, which is crazy to me. I'm not a religious person. I do go to church, but I go for cultural purposes because it's tied to my lineage, my culture, and that's also very important in this work. So yeah. Anyway, if you have questions, let me know. I hope this one was a little more detailed. I didn't want to make it too long though. So yeah, that's it. I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day. Subscribe to my channel for more. I love y'all. Bye.